doesn't get much. It picks up about a couple of yards on the play. Joined in the commentary booth by Steve Podmore. Pod, how are we doing today?
Oh yeah, I'm great, thanks. We've just come out of some sort of retirement and just played for the Raccoons, and good to be back on this side, seeing what's going on, watching the best quarterback in football do his stuff, and he's just done that. Nice sort of quick in, easy catch, easy pass, and they're on the move already.
I mean, that was Tommy Burwood on the catch for that one. We talked about him quite a lot in the last one. Not that you actually heard us because the microphones weren't working. But started off the game with a couple of drops and then turned it around, and next thing you know, he's in for a couple of scores.
And Adam's just gone to the school of if it's going to hurt you, you probably will catch it, and he's just drilled one in at the guy's face, and he's made sure he's caught that one.
I mean, it's what we said before. If you're going to make a drop on a ball that's coming towards your face, you're only going to do it once.
Yes, absolutely right, isn't it? But again, he did well. He bobbled it a little bit and secured it, and we're into first down. And like we said, the drive's well and truly alive now. They're a very good team anyway, aren't they, the Gunslingers? We know that. They're poised to make a big statement today, and there's a nice little
Coles
just a little bit behind Coles really there. It's a tough catch on your hip and slightly behind you with a guy trailing you. That's not an easy one.
I mean, I'm sure that was pretty difficult for you to say there, saying
I
the Grindmore threw it behind us. Grindmore threw a bad pass.
Yeah, but it was to Coles, so it's a win. I can blame either of them.
And I don't think you want to blame either of them.
No, exactly. It was neither of their fault. It was the wind.
Pass interference on the defence there by Pod.
It was the wind. So we were in second down. That's a nice little play. So the wide receiver has just basically done like a slip screen. He's just run underneath. He hasn't run any stem on his route. Just run underneath. They've cleared it out, and straight away Grindmore's just hit that for the short game.
They're down now.
I don't see that much in flag, do you? Somebody just running a slip underneath like that without any kind of forward movement.
I say normally you've got 5 or 6 offensive linemen in front of you, so exactly. It's a decent thing to do.
Yeah. So nice. Let's see what he's doing. He's
straight through his fingers there.
Another drop there. It wasn't cold, so we'll definitely say that's a drop.
I mean, he was wide open. It was the right read for him, and just in front of the end zone. But straight through his hands.
It's one of those interesting things when you watch sort of this play. We both know because we've played with Grindrod, but the ball always does come in really professionally accurate. It's spiral. And so what I mean is, if you get your hands a bit wrong, or you get out a little bit, or you're snapping to catch, you're clapping your hands together to catch, you're going to struggle to make the catch. With Grindrod, it's more of like that. You've got to catch with your hands in the right shape and worry about nothing else because the ball will come in. And that's how you're trained when you actually play at bigger levels and play kitted. The first thing a receiver's taught is your hand shape, and the ball's going to come in and you're going to catch it. If that makes sense. So that catch there, he was bringing his hands together as a crocodile type thing, as we'd call it, and the ball's coming in as a spiral. It's going to just pop through that.
I mean, the one person who's not going to drop it is Mile in that corner.
Yes,
picks up that first one.
Yeah, and Mile's back on, and that's unfortunate there. Again, good effort really.
Too low on that one.
Yeah, but good effort by 77. Try and scoop that underneath. And we get to see him on defence now with a 6-0 lead. And Mile's back to playing both ways. And Grindrod as well.
I mean, Grindrod in the last game picked up one of the rare stats that we rarely see. It was down as an interception in the stats, but it was a fumble recovery.
It was awesome, that one.
Bobbled the ball into his hands.
Again, nice.
Pick up on the tackle
nice
there.
Safe play and get themselves off, and a nice good 8-9 yard gain, and you settle yourself in straight away. Again, they're very efficient, aren't they? The Wolves, we've seen them a couple of times, and you've got to play. You've got to have your head on, switched on all the time. They're not going to give you any easy drops or bad plays. Again, fired it out. Nice ball to the outside, and they're playing that to let them pushing the coverage off and playing underneath it. That's 2 in a row. And I'm not switched on. Oh, yeah.
So what we're looking now, about 2-3 yards away from that first down.
Are you taking a shot as a quarterback?
Third down, I would. I'd go for, I would say, I mean, as a coach, I would. as a QB, I never could do it anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking as a QB, as a coach, you're saying get the first down, which is kind of what they didn't do there. So he's got the worst of both worlds there.
He's marked down just over that one.
Yeah, he's giving it him. Okay. So there you go. That's it. As a coach, you say just take the first down and start again. But as a quarterback, you're like, I've got a free play here. I can have a shot at this. I'll easily get 3 yards.
You want that deep one. You take that on the fourth down. But I think the tackle was actually made slowly on that one, giving them a chance to pull the ball out and reach across that first.
I'm sure if we watched it back, he probably did get the first down. But as you say, the guy was there in plenty of time. It's just a slow tackle. So again, blitz coming in fast there, and again he's hitting that just outside. It's just the hooks onto the outside, isn't it? Really, at the moment.
It's a slow, methodical way to work your way downfield.
You're going to score on it because it's 7, 8, 9 yards a pop, as long as you're sure hands. You're looking at third or fourth and goal.
Normally we talk about height advantage the teams may have. These two seem fairly evenly matched on the height this time.
Maybe a bit with Helen's, obviously a bit shorter, but
they're
not really picking on that, are they?
Wolves have got a slight height advantage.
Oh my word, and Helen, it just...
You mentioned about Helen.
How about that? She nearly had the play you dream of as a cornerback, is the ball just drills through someone's hands and it hits you without even knowing.
And she had the dream.
It just stays in your pocket.
She had the dream on that one, but it turned into the nightmare. Again, like
you can't blame her.
It's one of those ones you're not really expecting. It just hits you in the hand.
You get lucky, it pops into under your armpit, and it's still there when you look down. And she nearly had that. And again, that's a nice play. To be fair,
Melee trying to come across on that one, can't quite get a hand to it.
He's trailing him again. That's that bit of you saying about bigger targets. I mean, on the move, Melee matches him all right, but he's still got 5-6 inches on him. So he's boxed him out well. And quarterback again, it's a nice throw, really, isn't it? No one else is getting that.
So we're looking about 2 yards away now from the end zone. Apologies if the goalpost that we have here is just blocking that shot on the right hand side.
Yeah, we literally need to move the goalpost in this. So
I know Jordan was trying to get a move, but apparently they're struggling to find the key to actually let us move these ones.
So nice blitz and
that was good
pressure. Good pressure. He thrives on that kind of movement straight away, but he got pressure in his face straight away, didn't he? And he couldn't get a decent throw off there, and kind of just out of the reach of the receiver, and turnover. And the OGs get a chance to now pull themselves 2 scores ahead if they can.
So I think as the blitz came through, it kind of pushed him back onto his back foot.
Are we calling calls on the fade here, first play?
I mean, you'd call calls on every single one. He's coming on the slant.
Oh, he's hit the fade. Oh, and it's scored.
But he's found Tommy Burwood.
Yeah. Okay. Wasn't Coles, but I don't know. You just get a feeling sometimes they're going to look for that deep one.
I mean,
you could see he looked off the short. There was 2 guys coming short, and he wanted that all the day, and found him nicely, didn't he?
I mean, Tommy's probably one of those. He's kind of exploded out of nowhere, really.
Great receiver, isn't he?
I mean, they've already got Coles on that one side, so normally you just kind of focus on that. He's given him another option.
There's a flag down though, so see what happens there.
And here's that one on the corner.
So the receiver was lined up over, and quite rightly he's upset, but the ref's exactly right. If he'd looked over, he would have told him. You have to check it, and it's interesting. You know, I was playing the last game, and I've seen it a couple of our guys and told them you just check over. They have to tell you, but they don't have to tell you if you don't ask. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players will kind of run up to the side, run up to their play, line up ready to go, and then that's it. They're not looking at referees.
Well, it's not nicely, mate. You've got to take ownership for it.
I know it's purely down to the receivers on that one. Yeah. They're not looking, but
again, it's an element. Like we just had one of the Blackhawks say in the background, like they come from a kitted background and that, so it's like you have to do that.
It's a built-in.
When you play a different, wearing flag, you don't see it very much anyway, and people can all be on the line and everything else. Whereas obviously in kit, there's a bigger reason for looking because you've got to have guys off and on and things like that. So it's in your head more.
It is something that I think it's more of those ones that, as a kitted player, you're drilled into that one. As a flag player, you need it drilled into you that this is what you need to do at every play.
Yeah. It's the same with when the sensors and the snaps. You get a lot of problems when you try and go on anything but one in flag because people just aren't used to anything but hearing the noise and going. And so
That's
any
a high ball there.
kind of flex.
End of the first quarter.
Same play though. Same play, wasn't it? Curl outs. So it's not a quick 5 and out sort of thing. It's a curl out, and they're looking at it on both sides really. And they're in a little bit of a hole really here and going into the second quarter. What we got?
13-0.
Zip. Yeah. But as you see with flag again, if they can make a drive here, and, you know, it can turn around very, very quickly. And it's not like they stalled on the last one particularly badly, did they? They got to 4th down and 2 yards to go before it was turned away.
Just trying to quickly pull up the current standings at the moment. Gunslingers on a 5-1,
Yeah.
and the Wolves on a 2-4. That first game day really hurt them, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'd say the 4 losses probably hurt them as well.
Which was, I think, it was their first game day. They struggled in that first one, low numbers and big opposition.
Yeah. Again, the outs and it feels a bit now. We've had one drive. That's pretty much bread and butter plays, and it almost feels like they're beginning to sit into those routes now, aren't they? That's a bit more contested the last couple of plays on that. So we'll see if he digs into it now and just changes his play up a bit now that he sucked them into defending that differently. Let's see, it might be different. Interesting, the OGs haven't got the biggest squad today, have they?
I mean, they've got 3 on the sideline.
Yeah.
Wolves have only got 2 on the sideline. Going deep down that side, found the open receiver.
And wow, and probably that's a bit of the adjustment we just talked about. Burwood's just sat twice on that out, and this time he's given him a head and go, and nice throw by the quarterback as well.
Oh, it was a great throw, just over the top of the receiver, over the defender.
Yeah, and I'm guessing we weren't watching because we never do, but I would imagine there's a stutter in the middle of that somewhere to give him the feeling that he's running the deep hook thing, the 7 hook. We'll see. We'll probably look for that now. Again, nice play, and it puts them into a real chance to make something happen here. And wow, Melee was
flying
thinking
in
about
for
taking that
interception
back. Again, to be fair, it was just a little high. Bit right. The guy was there; he had the chance.
I think they said it was just out of the reach of the receiver. Then when he managed to
try
and grab it and bat it up in the air out of the way of Melee, then and he was got. It was.
Yeah. Do you remember the days when you could move that fast on
a? Not really.
I do.
So twins on the left-hand side. 1 blitz signalled.
Yeah, blitz is putting some good pressure as well, isn't he? Again, there it is. That out hook thing. If it works, keep going there.
They're looking about 6 yards away now from the end zone. There seems to be a lot of teams today that are short on numbers. So the Wolves have got 2 on the sideline. The Gunslingers have got 3. I think the Blackhawks in the last game only had 1 fingertip catch there.
Nice, well done, good concentration there. The temptation often is to try and do something with it, and you drop them and feel silly, but he's done the right thing.
I mean, it's a great fingertip catch. I think he picked up about 2 yards on that one.
Yeah. But that's it. The defender was a bit late on the tackle in the end, but a lot of people do it. You just kind of get your head in it, or you don't make an effort. And it's like secure the catch before you worry about anything else. And he did well there. So.
Just inside that no run zone now, about 4 yards away.
Blitz is showing his intention to do the bullet blitz here.
Melee gets the interception on that one. So this is like the bullet blitz is one of the rules that obviously we only have in OFL, and we've talked about it, that as you don't actually signal, are you allowed to impede the blitzer on this one? And then that one adds into a further question: if he signals as a blitz, is he unimpeded? Cole's on the outside there.
Again, there's another example of that. Watch it in, secure it, then worry about everything else after you've caught it. It's nice. I said that's the tough thing, isn't it, with these guys? You pretty much know you've got to score 35 points to have a chance. I mean, it's a bit relentless, these people, isn't it? They're just drive, and it's tough to stop them scoring, isn't it?
Just looking on that
Oh,
side.
okay, they pump fake that one away, and he's gone really deep. And he's
Interception on that one, and caught.
ill-advised, really, wasn't it? I mean, interesting there. Just again, look at Jordan. This is why he, for me, he's probably the best centre, because he can just run every route, and he's a threat wherever, whether it's running short, long, deep, pulls, whatever. He's a big threat. You saw that he got there. Good concentration there, Coles, on the first one. Yeah, you did your inner pod there and didn't drop it though. So there you go. There's the turnover that they've scored. If they can drive here, we could go into the half just down a score.
Yeah, so
and
13
they get
at
the
the
ball
moment.
as well. Yeah, so it's 13-7.
13-0.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I may be wrong on that one. I've got it down as 13-0. I'm not too sure if the Wolves actually managed to get the ball across.
I'm now not so sure either. Oh, it is. Okay, it is.
There we go. So
there you go. So we still
it was the previous drive where they
had the big play just like they've just done now. They
forced down and they didn't quite manage to push that one through. They had the one in the previous quarter as well, where they managed to drive the whole way down and not quite get across.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I don't think I'd want to pick on Tommy if I was a quarterback, and they've picked on him twice on those deep plays, and I don't think I'd want to. He's so good. There you go. Let's see if they can punch this one in then, because like you say, they'd be really in it if they could actually.
So that's 4 yards away. Second down.
Yeah, good position to be in. They've still got a quarterback run as well. I don't think he's used one yet, has he at all? I don't think he's done it.
No,
I know he's not a big one for that anyway, is he?
He's never been one to really take out the runs.
Oh.
I genuinely thought he was going to go.
Yeah, we don't. But that was a nice little play, because that kind of got you thinking, if you're defending, oh, what the hell? He could run, he could pace. Oh my God. Good movement, and the guy popped open on the inseam thing, and nice scoring. Oh, there you go. 4 minutes to go.
4 minutes and left in the first half. 13-6.
If you're Gunslingers, you're looking at plenty of time, 2 timeouts, take the drive, and go into half time and put another score on him.
Get back that
if they
two-score
can
lead.
find a way to hold him, and we're 13-6 at the minute.
Going for 1.
Yeah. So it looks like a bit of man coverage here. And it is. Yeah. Getting good pressure from the blitzer.
It all starts with the blitz on these ones now. When you've got the speedy guy coming through.
Yeah. Well, we're 2 quarterbacks, both pretty poised and know what they're doing, and they're not really. Neither of them are really phased. If they're moving, it's by design rather than being forced. So it is about that. Try and just make them have the hardest throw they've got.
Well, the blitz used on that first play.
Okay.
And if he was just trying to get something.
And there's that melee thing that you get. We've just had a pick on him who'd run a deep corner, and now the very next play on offense, and he's run the quick out from centre. Safe hands, and nice way again to start the drive. And there's plenty of time with the timeouts to use as well. So blitz coming in again.
In that middle one again.
Again, the only thing when you're a receiver, it's hitting close to the body. It's they're tough catches if you're catching with your arms out, but he had no option. And so when it bounces, you've got nothing to soak it up, and I think that's as much the problem there. So
I'm not too sure. I think he's one of the newer players that they've managed to recruit in this time.
It's a tougher catch than it looks, basically, because it's hitting you in the low part of the, like again there really, it's hitting low in, so he's catching close rather than out the brim. So
he brought that one in.
Yeah.
Tried to turn, and I think he lost a bit of footing on that one. And there's a 2-minute warning in this first half.
So, as we saw, their goal now is they've got the timeouts, is to use the whole clock here.
It's fourth down, they've still got.
Yeah. They need to get this first down now.
Looks like it's going to be about 7 yards to go. Trips on the left hand side.
Yeah, good movement there. He's drilled that across. And
Coles
and unlucky.
with the drop.
Coles did well to get himself in a position really, and that would have been a really good catch if he pulled that in. So here we go. That suddenly so there's a change of possession, so they're just clarifying it. The clock will stop there, and then it carries on running. So you can't run a quick fire offence out of bounds because the clock won't stop. Only stops on change of possession. But they've got 2 timeouts, so realistically, they should be in a position where they can actually have a good 5-6 plays if they want to.
Yeah, we're slowly working their way down. I mean, it's what we said before. That's been their main plan anyway.
Yeah. Let's see if it changes a little bit. Sometimes you pressure yourself when you think you're short of time, and he's done it again. Wow. Okay.
I mean, it's worked on that one.
Yeah. Again, that's
But at first,
more into the middle of the field, but
does get the
there was
first
only
down.
one person. Yeah, there's only one person catching that, wasn't there? And they've called the timeout. So it's 1:51. So basically, they can play. They can get 4 plays off. There's no reason now that they can't use the whole playbook, and they got 1 timeout to use in just under 2 minutes.
So I think it was
not an issue at all, is it?
It was what, 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's 1:51. He's just said.
So it was 2 minutes just before they took over on the ball. 9 seconds used in 2 plays, one by the Gunslingers and one by the Wolves. The Gunslingers now, so the Wolves are now back on that first. Batted down on that one.
By the blitz, so again forcing him to take something he doesn't want. And the thing is here now, the clock carries on. So that's the big dynamic that happens in OFL is this now. You've still got to call your plays quite nice and steady and quick, because the clock is not your friend. So what was second down?
It almost turns into like a tournament football one.
Yeah, and he's got his
taken
run
off
again.
on that run now.
Yeah, so there he has had it, and that's not a bad one. Whether they'll use the timeout now, there you go. Yeah, so timeout, third down, and 1:01 I think he said.
So third down and what we're looking about 12, 13 yards away.
Yeah, and they've got 1 minute and 3, so plenty of time. It's 13-7 to the Gunslingers, and they get the ball in the second half as well. That's also for the commentary. Someone asked them, fitted nicely. It's been quite decent. Couple of picks.
So blitz signal coming through on that 7 yards. Twins on the left hand side for the Wolves.
Blitz has come through.
Gone
Third down.
deep,
He's thrown that
that's
away.
out.
Okay, so we're into fourth down now, and so they've got plenty of time. So they're going to 25-second on the clock. So they're looking at a good, probably. To be fair, the Gunslingers are going to have a shot at the end zone here.
Well, it says 54
timeout
seconds.
still.
54 seconds left on the clock. The ball change, so the clock will stop on change of possession.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good 25 seconds, probably 20 seconds. So we'll give them a chance, unless they score.
So that's the main thing they'll be looking at now. Have to score for this one, not only for the.
So he's moved straight away. He's put it up, and he's
Melee with the interception again.
Yeah, again, it's no problem. Throw it. Might as well try and get a play made, mightn't you? It's better. You'd rather have the pick than sit there. So no, I threw it for 17 yards short. And
well, there's 17 seconds away.
17 seconds left. 17 seconds to go.
Not quite.
No, it doesn't work. So
bringing out the old.
We're pretty
tunes
sure
there.
here. What would you do? They're probably looking at something really nice and deep to the first down marker. Call a timeout, and they'll have 2 shots at the end zone probably.
Staying inbound on that
Probably
one.
not the most advisable thing to do there.
Timeout called on that one.
You wasted 2 or 3 seconds by just
Dancing around, not really gaining too much on the yardage.
Yeah. So timeout called. Is that?
So it was timeout called by the Gunslingers.
You got a timeout left, or is that it? Yeah. So they've still got a timeout, and they've basically got time for 1 play, and then a couple of shots at the end zone potentially.
Looking across that middle.
Wow, that's a nice throw, nice catch. And again, timeout is called. So 3 seconds. So it's
3 seconds. It's basically one. It's one play to the end zone.
Again, he ran a nice route though, didn't he? Nice deep kind of thing, and he has definitely given there's a very reasonable shot at the end zone here. And with 3 seconds, he hasn't got to rush it at all, because he ain't going to get a second play off anyway. So it comes down to this. So if you're the Wolves, you really want to stop this and say you'll have the chance to take the lead in the
So
first
they've got
drive of the
3
second
deep
half.
safeties on that
Yeah, so trips
against
to
the
the
trips
left.
on the left.
Yeah. And again, he's looking there. The blitz has come through, and he's thrown
Ball
it
is
nice
up.
and deep in the end zone. And Coles has made a really good contested catch there. And as a defence, you get annoyed with yourself for it. But again, that was a good catch.
I mean, I think it was one of the shorter players that they had on there, so, but it wasn't too much of a height thing. I think it was about a half a yard away from Coles as a defender, just trying to reach out and bring something in and trying to bat it down.
It's the sort of things, though, isn't it? I mean, he started a little bit deeper to take that first play as well, so he gave himself time to let the players develop the routes and get deep in, and then again he's just trying to fade to the back, and this time the defender's there to stop that. I think they've flattened someone behind it.
Yeah, it's a referee, so it's okay.
Yeah, we don't mind. It's only a ref. They can always get another one.
So 19-6 as we go into the second half. Gunslingers have managed to stretch out that one.
Yeah, it's felt a little bit all Gunslingers, and yet
It's not
literally scored with.
I say it's been a fairly close game
Yeah.
throughout. Although
Yeah.
in the coverage we did for week 2, we had the exact same thing where
Yeah.
it was a lot of close games at the end of the.
And then they blew them away, didn't they?
Yeah. So and as you're looking into the half time, it's like, oh, this could be a really good game. Second half, it's only like a score in it and things like that. Next thing you know, end of the game, it's 4 or 5 scores difference, and it's
Yeah.
like, not too sure what happened. There was a couple of games last week where no one wanted to score.
I see you, Cozy. I see it. Had to make up for that one earlier. Well, we did talk about how bad that was. It wasn't a bad catch. It wasn't a bad effort either, the one he's worried about. Christ. 95 players out of 100 when they got that one, I don't think.
So first games we've had so far, the Raccoons unfortunately fell to the Blackhawks.
Yeah, we struggled today. Just same as last week for us, from our sort of perspective, it was that we just didn't get going on offense properly, and it wasn't that it wasn't there, and it wasn't that we had a chance. We just sometimes you just misfire a bit, and and it's a shame. And then obviously they scored fairly consistently, which meant it worse. But we had, the first 2 drives we got them to 4th down, and we just gave up one of those where you can't help it. They're just through deep and over the outstretched hand of a shorter defender, which we've just seen there to a degree.
I mean,
And,
I was talking to a few of the Raccoons players, and they were saying it was a close game when you look at it at the start of it. I mean, going into it, but I think it was the first few drives that really let you guys down.
Yeah, we just nothing going, and like I say, the shame for us was, and Misa's picked up on it now a bit. He was kind of guilty of moving off his spot quite quickly, which he knows he shouldn't really do, and also just try and look for a bigger play all the time. And so he was trying to let stuff, but there was a lot of short stuff and a lot of quick stuff that was there. And then again, when he did do a couple of those, he, as you probably saw, Sam got thrown over the top of him, a bad throw, a tough throw. So Misha's, his own worst critic sometimes. So he's out there now, and he's working through his head with that and getting set again. So I think we'll see a much better show on this next game, but unfortunately we've got to play the Gunslingers. So
I mean, it's one of those ones where he's a scrambling quarterback, and he does like to scramble, but then the downside is that he's not always plays designed for it. So he may have struggled a few times with that one, kind of staying set and ready to go. I think the referees are ready for this second half. The Wolves coming back onto the field as well now.
Well, for the commentary and for the fans at home, we want them to score on this first drive. Hopefully, a glorious run back.
A run back on this one would make it a very, very interesting
kick.
game.
Yeah. So, how are we going to call it? If they score, you say it'll be a close game. If they don't score on this drive, I'm saying it's done.
Oh yeah, it's. But then again, playing these quarters, it gives you a little bit of extra time and.
I do like that now. Now after the first week where we kind of no one knew what they're doing, I quite like it. Just it's a quarter, you quickly turn around, but it just exactly that. It just gives you a few seconds to just say, sit back, what's been going, what hasn't, right, get back on the field, and off we go. And I quite like that.
So Grindwell will be taking the throw off.
Yeah. And from a throw off again, these guys will throw it properly. But again, you saw in our game, the Blackhawks didn't even give us a chance to return it and threw it way out of bounds. And that's good. Good tackle. Nice throw up and high throw. Give his coverage chance to get there. But yeah, I think that's a rule change that's going to come in next year around the throw-offs. There is an element. We've seen it. We've played 6 games, and I think it's happened to us 3 times that our throw-offs been thrown deliberately out of bounds.
It's one of the few things where, I do love the idea of the throw-offs, and it's added a whole new aspect to the game. I think there needs to be more of an incentive to keep it in bounds.
Yeah, it's a tough one because on our one, we started like 5 yards short of the half, because of the penalty. But it's weird because you'd think in your own head the chances of running it back it's hardly ever happens. So there's a good chance you're making a tackle shorter than the penalty. So in a way I get that, but at the same time it's like it's there for a reason, isn't it? To get somebody to have just a different type of highlight or whatever. And people throwing it out of bounds deliberately is just kind of defeats the whole thing, doesn't it? Really?
Obviously we love highlights on this show.
Yeah, exactly. We've got one, haven't you? There's Grindrod with the pick, and that's the game. I know it's very early in the second half.
It is a game-changing moment there.
I'm going to stick with what I said a few minutes ago if they didn't score here, but that's a killer, isn't it? Midway into your own half, and it's a pick. And
it's when you look at the 2 quarterbacks they've got on here, neither of them. In the nicest way, they're not the most mobile of quarterbacks when you compare them to others.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be focusing too much on the
the
QB run side of it.
Oh, we got Jay in there, and Coles has danced his way for another gain of about 7 yards there from a nice quick in. But we let's keep an eye on Jay. It's his first action of the day, isn't it? He's been out with a bit of injury for a couple of months, hasn't he? I think
a couple of years,
yeah, possibly. But he's again, you forget how good a player he is and has been in.
The Pistons. I know that they didn't have the best season in their one. Jay was there, but he
Coles's back of the end zone, the classic Coles fade. It's kind of unstoppable.
And again, that height advantage that he's got over number 27, I think, is still going to cover him. Might as well use that to your advantage.
And it's interesting because Coles, he's only like 6'1". He just plays taller as well. There's an element of he's lithe and he's obviously got spring and everything in his step. So I don't think he's that much short. In fact, I bet there's not much in it, but he just looks taller, doesn't he? We'll see now. And there's Jay. You heard that? It just stuck. And look, and he's acting like he's done it before because he has. He's forgotten what to do to celebrate though. I know he's got one, he's found it, he's remembered all those previous years of hundreds of celebrations.
And we said before, that's one of those catches where if you don't catch it, you'll definitely know about it and remember it.
Yeah. He's not letting go of that ball either. He's gone.
It's still stuck to his hands.
I feel for you, Jay. You can tell he ain't played for a few months. He's blowing on that one. But and Grindrod's almost had another pick. Straight away, he had his hands on that. And they're clamping it down hard here. It's, what's that, 30, 26?
26-6?
Yeah. No, 27. 26.
I've got the official.
You've got the official score going now.
I've got the official score.
I love this from the ref as well. That's really good. No one does it, but sit down and because you're taking all the blitzes and everything. Oh my word! There's a chance of another one there. Melee coming in. He's thinking a 6 there. He's shaking his head because he knows what could have been there.
That was the if he'd have caught that one, he was gone.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. He'd have been gone.
I think he would have caught that on about the 12-yard line.
I think by the time he landed, he'd have probably been in the end zone. He was going that fast.
12 yards away with nothing in between.
I don't know. Sometimes is it when you've got a bit of a lead, you can feel a bit more comfortable firing in on some of these players and things, and you can take a bit of a risk. And that's quite a tough one there. It's incidental, I think. I mean, Melee's basically got a position. Oh, they've thrown it. I think it's I think the same. I think Mila's got position, but they're both in sort of movement. So for me, it's like kind of the receiver just was trying to adjust to where the ball had ended up thrown.
It's making a play on the ball.
Yeah, so Milo just is in position, and I don't think there's anything tough there other than he's tried to move, and Milo's in there, and he's not a bit aware of where he is. And it's a tough one. But we saw that whole thread a few weeks ago, didn't we? Which enlightened me a bit.
Oh, incidental conduct.
There is no such thing in flag. It's contact, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's
just depending. Was someone positioned, or did they hit him? But I read that with interest, and it threw my head.
It's one of those ones that when I see a lot of people like contact and things like that, you go, yes, it was incidental, but it still is contact. Why is no one calling it? And I think one of the comments made was that if you threw a flag on every bit of incidental contact, then you'd be throwing flags on almost every single play.
Exactly the point. And then my head was like, well, there is always so. But on one hand, you're actually saying, well, you've got to call it.
Yeah,
it's the way it was written. But if you didn't, it's every single bleeding flag.
So I think they have been,
and they've been penalised, and that's probably the right thing. That's like the thing is, Mile was in the position, so although it wasn't deliberate or any kind of malicious play, he was just making an adjustment to the quarterback on the scramble. Mile had position, and Mile was there, and unfortunately you got to avoid him once he's got that position. So, nice little low catch though. And let's see if we can get that moving forward.
I think that was
down there anyway, wasn't it?
So I think that that last call was one of those ones that if they obviously they did call it, and no one's going to argue too much about it. If they hadn't, I don't think there'd have been a huge argument about it.
It's that tough thing, isn't it? You absolutely was incidental. There's nothing in it that would say that was anyone trying to do anything different. But there's that fact is that's the rule. It's crazy. If I remember right, that thread, it kind of same thing. I think even Jed mentioned it, didn't he, and talked about it. But even he said the same thing. It's so tough. Oh, look at that wide open guy rumbles, and Jay rumbles for another 7 or 8 yards. But nice three-step.
Speaking of Facebook threads, we did have one that went over 100, and I think it was over 130, 130 comments last time I saw it, and it's not even about rules.
Yeah.
And that's the one that kind of threw me off, and it was the Cumberland team trying to come up with a team name.
Carlisle Roberts for me.
Sorry, it was Carlisle. They've gone for a few options now, so hopefully we'll see them coming up soon. Cole's managing to creep out of that one.
Christ, that came at us, and my muscle memory kicked in there, and my hands were up. Luckily, Cole's got in the way of that, but that one could have drilled one of us in the head there.
I'm hoping I managed to catch a bit on tape, but as you saw him catch the ball, it went. Obviously, Cole's has got great hands and things like that, and he'll catch almost anything. Even that one, he was struggling to keep hold of that one and keep his hands closed. Yeah. He ended up grabbing onto the back of the ball.
But if you've got that, that's what I've talked about earlier. It comes in, it's a spiral, it's coming in speed, but your hands are. You get your hands right, and you haven't got to think, because if your hands are right, and that's the muscle memory we try and instill in receivers when they start, is if you get your hands up and the ball comes in, you're catching it because of the way it comes. Second down, goal to go.
We're looking about 5 yards away from that halfway.
Back to that trips play. We've run this a few times.
Adam taken off. He said it doesn't run much.
Adam's done a run, and he's barreled his way through and gained another yard on the spin.
And it's another one of that kitted mentality. As you can see him coming up near any sort of defender, he clamps down on that ball, 2 arms over the top, and that's it. Yeah, he's not going to let it go of everybody.
It's no one's jarring that loose. Let's see, we're looking for the fade in the back corner again. It seems to have been pretty good for him. Oh, and there's
Jay on that one.
There you go, and Jay's back.
So Jay has caught that one in the back of the end zone for the score, but I'm just going to wait and see if there was any call on that one.
So there's some kind of
So
feeling from the referees that was impeding, but not the guys on the field. So
this is the one we.
there you
So
go.
we
The classic. And he's got it, but he's not going to be given that. He's definitely caught that,
So
unfortunately.
Jay got the touchdown on the last one, and the ruling on the field, as we've just been discussing,
was
that
impeding the blitzer.
it wasn't impeding the blitzer, because as it was a bullet blitz, you don't signal.
And to be fair, that explains he has had his hand up on the previous one, because I was like calling him out for why has he done that. But
Yeah, because
that makes sense. So.
Well, that was actually the Gunslingers actually did that one. They signalled on a bullet blitz, but this guy didn't. So when he ran into him, it's not right of way.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense. I'm definitely something I'm going to talk to our guys about that.
And that's the end of the quarter.
Yeah. So I think that's the quarter.
Apparently it is.
Anyone know if that was the quarter? There's at least 2 players out there didn't call it, so I'm not sure if it actually happened yet.
And you want like 100%.
Yeah.
We're going for a jury. You want a full everyone agreement.
Was that the quarter, Jay? Yeah.
There we go.
Nice catch, man. Yes, I've never seen somebody hobbling around so much who's also been open so much on the place. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you looked fairly active on that back of the end zone touchdown play.
Yeah. He went to my school of if you stop running, the others still usually keep running, and you suddenly come open.
I mean, it worked
I've
for
made
him.
a bit of a living off that sometimes.
You got the 6 points for that one, making
enough.
it a 32-6 lead.
Yeah, it's a blowout, unfortunately. Let's have a look. There you go, Coles. They've switched the. Doesn't matter now, but they've switched that, and Coles was leg for leg for the guy going deep here. They're both giving each other a bit of a nod there, and so I think the quarterback was probably looking for that to another big play. He's done that a few times on first down. But yeah, Coles was right with him there. So he wisely took that underneath, and again, let's see if we can get a bit of movement there and get a score.
I mean, at this point, you're sitting there going, it's 32-6. You're more than likely not going to be winning this game.
You're not winning it. It's as simple as that. You
I mean,
can't. But this is the point. Is like now play your offense, play your defense.
I think we're now we've just started the fourth quarter. Unless I'm massive mistake. Yeah,
it started the fourth. It was the end of the quarter if you didn't hear.
It was. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that one. So yeah, just getting into the fourth quarter. 26 points down. It's probably not going to be the best game for you.
You can't win. You can't come back on that in this.
Unless there's some massive mistakes made by the defense. I mean, when you got a defense playing like that.
Yeah.
But see now, do you focus more on getting reps in?
Yes.
For your other players, or do you also look at the next game that you've got coming up? So
I've always been a believer of play your offense now. You're as good as lost. So you're not going to necessarily take it. I mean, if there's a big play, you can sit there and do it. But actually, some of it's about just get the drive, get the score, worry about it after you. So it's still, if you're going to come back, this isn't the drive that's going to do it. This is the drive you need to score on. You score on this, which they didn't, and then start thinking about it. But you've got to get that first score under your belt. And as we've just seen again, nothing's happened. Blitz has come down. He did well to avoid that. Really, he just got in his face, and again that the sure hands of Burwood.
Yeah. So now they've got the bit of, like, say, are you looking for the reps? Are you looking for the next game? But then you've also got to think in a division hotly contested at the moment. Yeah. Do you start looking at points difference, trying to keep that down, or in the Gunslingers' eyes, are you trying to barrel ahead and run up the score?
Yeah, it's a really valid point. You've come there, isn't it? It actually is. Like I say, for me, it's play your game. You get that first score, because the thing is that you've not scored. You've had 6. You've had a couple of chances, but nothing major. You're not scoring, so get that drive. Play your game. Get the drive, even if it takes you 6 minutes and you've got no chance. get the score, then you can start, right, we've got something, we've got some rhythm, we've got some momentum, we've got something going on, get a stop, and then that's when you go into your more bagger. We've had some success, we can now do something to try and build on that, but look, it's just flat, it's just nothing.
So they're one of the many teams that are on
Yeah.
5-1. They're the only one in this division that's 5-1. The other 3 teams are in the other division.
And let's face it, the Wolves are on a bad side at all, but the OGs, they're just very, very good, aren't they? Good break up there. Closed down on him well there from the safety. So they've even got Jay in playing fake handoffs now.
So he's taking up
On a read action.
that full-back role on.
Yeah.
Going for the Michael Stark school of running backs.
True read option play as well, wasn't it? And then proper held that in there for a good second before pulling it out and then throwing on the out. I mean, if the object is to get Jay knackered out, they're doing quite well there.
I mean, he turned up, so I think that was enough for him.
And again, Coles is just...
I'm hoping I got that one just
it's kind
out
of money
there.
that is to it for him, isn't it? And again, he just looks effortless with it. That's the thing, isn't it? Which you get from these... there's a few receivers in flag, the OFL tournament this year who've got that same thing. It's just effortless.
So if I will apologise now to Coles if I didn't manage to grab that one quite on film.
Yeah, I bet you'll get a couple more today, though.
Oh, probably.
You've got the Raccoons game next, haven't you?
I mean, the problem we've got is there's a goalpost just on my right hand side, so I'm making sure that I don't swing it around too quick and hit the goalpost. That's another one straight into the curve.
Because it's just hit him so tight, he's not able to get his hands to anything, and so it's just bouncing off your chest. It's so tough as a receiver because you want to catch it with a little bit of buffer, a bit of shock absorbing, and he's catching it with his hands T-Rex basically. It's not his fault. It's just and then like you said, that's the disadvantage of Adam's kind of spirals.
Yeah, when it's coming at that
it's
sort of
coming in
speed.
pretty fast, and it's a very tough catch for a receiver actually. Whereas when you're throwing them, they're nice and soft.
Oh yeah,
you don't worry about it.
I took care of my receiver's hands.
Yeah, you did.
There was definitely no injuries coming out of those ones.
You did for sure. Oh, there's some contact. They've got to be calling that, I think. Yeah, they've seen it. And it's one of those. I mean, negative thing you say there is finish your play, mate. Because we've had it where they don't call it. He spent more, he stops pressuring him. You get a pick and you decline it, don't you? And that's the tough thing as well, isn't it? When it's running clock, if the game's tight, you get a penalty. It still stops you. It doesn't help you.
Yeah, it's almost like there are sometimes when the game's running out and something like that, you kind of want to go. I'll take a nice easy penalty.
Rather, just swat the ball and go. Declined. See, look, we've had nearly we've lost probably 20-30 seconds now. Obviously, the game's not tight, so it doesn't actually matter at all. But it's the one tough thing with tournament, and we saw it when we've been big bowled and other things like that. Is without even meaning to, you can end up chewing a few minutes of the clock just because it gets a bit down and dirty in the game.
Yeah,
a couple of penalties, and it's like, oh.
I know that when we were at Big Balls together, and there was a couple of times when you have like a small referees discussion, you're sitting there going, "This is eating into a game time." Tommy could be with the score on that one.
Tommy's got himself right down there. Bloody hell. Just short.
So you can be marked down about what, 2-3 yards short?
I mean, what? A good 12 yards on the run though.
Oh, it was a good play to bring him into that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 yards away now from that end zone.
Again, you saw it there. Adam, he's got the pressure, but he just stands there and takes it, and he trusts in his motion. At the end of the day, even when you've got the ball high and you're throwing high from the high with your pass, the blitz is going to struggle to impact that, and Coles is just on him for the score on a 10 and in type of route. And it's what we're up to now,
38-6.
38-6. It's what we said at half time, wasn't it? It
was that first drive.
And we said they've done it a couple of times, the Gunslingers, haven't they? You look down and suddenly it's gone from being what thought might be a tight game, and it's just gone.
19-6 at the half.
38-6.
Graham Rod winding out to that right.
Jay calling for it, and he's had to throw it a bit deep, and he's thrown to. They call it out of bounds now. I mean, Grindrod did well to see him behind because I couldn't see anything
So,
but Jay.
It was one of those ones where, as a QB, you're sitting there going, it wasn't necessarily meant for Tommy, but it got there, so we'll call it on that one.
And there we go. We're into 2 minutes, and I hope you're not going to suggest you can have a comeback from this. You seem to have been implying that a couple of times.
I mean, at the start of that one, when it was like 26-6 and things like that, you sitting there going, it could have been. Then it went to 32-6, and it was looking less and less likely. 38-6, 2-minute warning. That's a couple of good plays, and you can get back into this one and make it a nice tight game once again. I think they're opting for the.
Oh my word! And there's the other one that we love. I'd love him to score off that. That would be the way to go.
See,
that's the rare.
That was the even rarer QB recovers his own player's fumble.
I was going to say that I don't think I've ever seen that one. Quarterback.
I think if that had been closer to the, he was at his own 5-yard line when that was done. He picked up about 5 yards.
He just wanted to pass from 11 to 11, fumble by 42, recovered by 11. Well won. Oh, okay. He's gone back to his bread and butter. Hook outs, and we're into the death throws now.
Minute 10 left in this one now. 3rd down. I mean, I'm going to say this one out. I don't think the Wolves will be scoring on this drive. They've struggled. They managed to do the hard work of getting down to the far end, but they can't quite finish it off. They've only done it once so far. But I can see another Gunslinger score.
Oh, go on, the best famous last words ever. Oh, and there they go. Oh, and he's giving it. Oh, he's not even giving him that. I mean, that's terrible. That's terrible by the referee. He's having a nightmare.
I mean, the only good thing
a lot of people say that to Marcus when they walk past him. A lot of girls, especially. Yeah.
The only bonus that I've got there is that if you do score on the next one, he hasn't made me.
You're hoping he doesn't because you just ruined.
I've just called that he's not going to score. He almost does it on the very, very first play after that one.
Commentator's curse was absolutely superb there, wasn't it? Nice little run though.
Nathan Coles,
great recovery tackle,
with
really,
the ego-saving tackle.
He'd done the hard bit. I think he got through the sort of middle of the field, and then Coles come out of nowhere and stopped him.
So 23 seconds and a timeout was called.
Yeah.
They're about a yard away.
And they got 4 downs to do this. So.
It's over the top there.
But it's the right idea, and at least no one else is catching it.
Timeout called again.
Good awareness by the quarterback.
It's about 4 seconds left on this one.
Oh,
sorry, 16 seconds.
They've got a chance. Quick play and another quick play, but there's a chance this is the last one, isn't it?
So 16 seconds left.
17. Oh, it's going up.
17 seconds.
So there's definitely a chance for 2 plays if quick. Hopefully they'll only need one.
Say incompletes won't stop. Say incompletes won't stop. They've got.
Oh, he nearly had a Curtis catch there. And they need to be quick now. They need to be quick now.
They haven't got a timeout, so I think they may have just kind of conceded this one.
Accepted it. If you're quick, guys, so
I think
they're not worried about it then. So that's the game.
That is the game. 38-6 is the final score.